What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Rolling Bomb on YouTube. Our first official race review of the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Chase Elliott dominates the Clash at Bowman Gray, leading 171 laps. What a drive. Great win for him. It doesn't mean anything towards the season in points, but it's definitely a nice boost of confidence going into the 2025 NASCAR season. So we look at some stats from this race. There were 7 cautions for 7 laps. The reason that there was only 7 laps for cautions is because they didn't count yellow flags. So we had 7 cautions for 7 laps. The margin of victory was 1.3 seconds by Chase Elliott. The time of race was 1 hour and 13 minutes. Average speed was 40 miles per hour, and we had 4 lead changes. Chase Elliott led 171 laps, and Denny Hamlin led 28. So we're talking about this race. The first half was, I think, a lot more chill. No one was really trying to, destroy their crap, destroy their equipment. We had 2 instances. We saw Noah Gragson getting to Kyle Busch, spin out Kyle Busch. That was on lap 20 of the race. And we saw a second incident on lap 78 with Todd Gillen getting into William Byron, getting him loose, and he overcorrected and hit the wall. Not super hard damage, but kind of ended William Byron's chances of being competitive. Same thing for Kyle Busch. When Kyle Busch got spun out, his handling went away, and he was really a non-factor the rest of the race. Chase Elliott dominated the first half of this race, leading 96 laps. And then Hamlin's car, saving tires, was able to gain back on him, and I think passed him with like 3 laps to go in the first half. So that was impressive. Tire saving was important. They only had 1 set of tires for both halves. So you got to save tires, and Denny Hamlin did a great job. Elliott's car kind of fell off. Hamlin was able to pass Chase at the halfway point. We saw Tyler Reddick also look pretty competitive. Also, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Christopher Bell were all up front there in the first half. Really, no one really was being aggressive as much. They were trying to keep it clean. The outside line was really actually worked for the cars that had good handling. They could actually, if you were fast, you can pass guys on the high side. It was a much longer process, but as long as the guy on the bottom raced it clean, you could make passes. And that's what actually was fun. Not everyone was just driving into turn 1, using their bumper, smashing into the guy in front of them and pushing him up the track. They actually tried to race, which they should. They're the Cup Series. They're really dang good. They're not inexperienced young kids. They've been doing this for a long time, and they use their skills to put on some clean racing in this race. So then they had a halfway break where drivers come down outside the racetrack into their pit road area, and they put on tires, make adjustments, and then they come back. That was a good 10, 15-minute break, and then they came back out. There was no, wasn't live pit stops. Wherever you finished that first 100 laps, you came out in that same 100 laps. So the second half, Denny Hamlin started off the lead for a good bit. This was where we had a lot more aggressive, more incidents, more cautions in this half, which, you go through the first half, it's more of a pacing round. The second half, desperation, trying to make moves, trying to get to the front. We saw a total of 4 instances. The first one was Austin Cindric getting into the 5. The 19 also spun, the 5 spun. The second one was pretty much, it was a coordinating effect. The 22 bumped into the 20 that caused then the 20 to bump into the 77 and spinning out the 77. Really no one to blame on that one. It was just kind of all 3 of them all so close. I guess you could kind of blame Joey because he's the one that started the whole thing. But that's just happens when you're trying to make moves. But those 2 instances we just talked about, those were all happening in the first 10 laps of the second half. So you are right off the bat, I was like, oh boy, this is going to get real slow. That one, you got to blame Carson Hocevar, just driving a little too aggressive, knocks 2 of the Hendrick cars out. Kind of funny because Spire gets their engines from Hendrick, so I don't know, not a great look for Carson or Spire there. That incident happened on lap 15. Last incident happened on lap 20 where Bubba Wallace drove it in deep and Brad left the bottom open a little bit and Brad got clipped by Bubba. Brad went around, started last, and that kind of ruined Brad's day as well. So the second half was a lot more aggressive with the leaders, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick. And then we saw Ryan Blaney. He started 23rd, started dead last, and worked his way out through the field. I didn't think that was possible. But because he were able to race some and people were racing clean, ill-handling cars were struggling, allowed these better cars to work their way to the front. And we saw that from Ryan Blaney. A great drive. But the big battle for the lead, we saw Reddick and Hamlin battle very hard. And we had that allowed. Then Hamlin cleared Tyler Reddick, but then Chase Elliott passed Reddick, and Chase Elliott looked like he had a much better car than Hamlin, and just slowly, continuously worked on Hamlin. Hamlin was struggling a little bit. Chase would look high, look bottom, and then was able to get to the inside of Hamlin, and then just worked over Hamlin multiple laps to then clear Hamlin. The crowd went wild. Great battle there. That was fun to watch. It was clean. No one was trying to use each other up, use the bumper. It was good stuff. And then Hamlin's car kind of fell off from there. Blaney was beating the back bumper off really big, and then Hamlin got passed by Blaney. And then it was a great battle for, I would have said, 50 laps, final 50 laps of Blaney just trying to run down Elliott. Lap traffic came involved. It seemed like Elliott's car, like it fell off in the first half, and that's how Hamlin got around Elliott. In the second half, it looked like Elliott and his team made adjustments, and Blaney just was never able to get to a position there with lap traffic to ever get an opportunity to get side by side enough to really try to make a pass on him. And it led to Chase Elliott winning the clash at Bowman Gray. So we run down our finishing order here. Everyone from 14th down was all involved in some incident that caused them to lose positions or make repairs. So that's kind of why they finished there. Kyle Busch struggled with his car after he got spun out. Todd Gillen was involved in the William Byron situation. Josh Berry was clean all day. Christopher Bell was running pretty well in the first half, but then I guess fell off. Ryan Preece, didn't really know what happened there. He just didn't have the speed. Chris Buescher was in the top 5. I thought he had a fast car, and then he lost some track position handling. SVG, great run for him in 9th. 8th, Tyler Reddick. He also was in the battle there for first place, but then lost the handling. Austin Cindric, good run for him. Ross Chastain, 6th. Bubba Wallace, 5th. Jonah got 4th. All those guys right there had a great run. No really big issues for them. Denny Hamlin, 3rd. 2nd, Ryan Blaney. And then 1st, Chase Elliott. So we put this race on the rolling rate. Yes, the rolling rate. I'm going to rate this race. So overall, I thought this race was very good. It was a good short track race. It wasn't like a clown show like the last year's qualifying race. That was insane. Great win for Kyle Larson, but there was just so much going on. Desperation. And got a little out of hand there, I felt like. This race, the best oval racers in the world, put on a great, solid short track race. Yes, we had instances, but that happens. People trying to make moves, trying to work their way up. This place is hard to pass, but drivers were able to make passes without bumping guys too. The top lane worked a lot, which was impressive. Tire wear was a factor. Tire management was a factor. It was a clean race. Great to watch Ryan Blaney come from last to 2nd. That was awesome. Great storyline there. Great battles for the lead with Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott. But it's always great when Chase Elliott, you hold off Ryan Blaney. You're the most popular driver in front of a North Carolina crowd, an iconic short track. When you win, that's great for NASCAR, great for all the Chase Elliott fans. With that being said, the rolling rate for this race, I'll give it a 7.2. A solid race, not a great race, not an incredible race, a good race. Good old short track beating and banging, multi-groove racing, a great winner like Chase Elliott, a great crowd, 17,000, sold out. The crowd there was awesome. The energy there. This race was great for teams. It was close. I don't know how far the shops are, probably an hour or less, or hour and a half from the shop. So that's great for cost for the teams, but the fans showed out. There was a modified race around like 1:30 Saturday. It was packed there for that race. It was cold too. The fans still showed up. It was a late start for this race too. The fans stayed there. This is great. Now I was hearing rumblings. Chase Elliott was saying that he hopes this place is coming back. So I don't know about next year. I'm seeing stuff about NASCAR is going to go to Brazil for the Clash, which I'm not a big fan of that, but I do hope that the Clash can come back to Bowman Gray, because I think it really just fits the culture of NASCAR and what NASCAR was built on. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Looking forward to Daytona. I'm going to be there, like I already said. Holy crap. But I got some content I'm going to be posting, some new content, some content I'm behind on. So stay tuned on all my social medias and YouTube. Like I already said, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.